You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right, everyone. Hey, this is Walter and iWalter. I've been off for about 5 days, I guess, since Friday at least. Actually, Thursday. I actually was in Ocean City, New Jersey, and then Atlantic City for the Madonna concert. So that's why I've been off there for quite a bit of time. I am back, at least for now. I don't know. I'm going to be off this Friday again because I'm going to actually go see Kevin Smith down in Philadelphia. I will talk about the Madonna experience I had. I got some really good pictures. If you check on my Facebook page, you will be able to see them. I also have some other information too. Well, maybe I'll just let you know now. I have it somewhere buried. I got everything so unorganized right now. It's not even funny. There was actually something coming up in case you're interested. I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. And I found out that they're going to do another one of these tours, which I am definitely interested in going to. They're about $100 a pop for a couple hours. You actually get to go to the camp. It goes towards the kids, too. I had it up. Like I said, it's a kids' camp. Let me see if I can just do it the easy way and open up another window. I actually finally got my new hard drive the other day. That's why I wasn't on yesterday, because I was actually doing a backup off my old hard drive to the new one. I'm just going to keep them both running, so in case one dies again, I have everything mirrored onto another hard drive. Let's see. If I just put in Friday the 13th tour, and it should come up. Yeah, the tour is going to be at Camp Nobisco. Anyway, they're going to set it up for the whole theme, because that's actually where they shot the original Friday the 13th. I think it's Camp Nebo. Never mind. Anyway, they're just going to change the name to Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake. They only did one other tour. It was back 4 years ago at this point in 2011. And they said it sold out in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to probably end up having to buy a ticket for me and a friend, because that's a lot of money to kind of fork down. The tickets go on sale on Monday the 12th. They will give you more information as it gets closer. I definitely want to go. He had suggested, hey, maybe we should just get a hotel. And trust me, if you go up to where they shot this film, there is nothing in that area. It's like, I think it's in Jersey. It's on the cusp, I think, of Pennsylvania, but there is nothing. That town is completely dead. There is like absolutely nothing to do. But they shot the whole entire film, the original one, with Kevin Bacon in it. That was shot at this place in Jersey. So it'll be kind of interesting. I thought they actually said they were going to be doing some film in there, too, is what I thought I understood, because they're supposed to be doing a TV series, a prequel to Friday the 13th, so that's going to be there too. So it's funny, I saw this. I'm going to go through these horror story web links I have on Facebook, since I haven't been on for such a long time. I saw this one caption, and it was from this web link on Facebook called, I pulled the wrong one, Slaughtered Fetus Productions. I'm not even kidding. It's called Slaughtered Fetus Productions. And they had this little caption, and it said, I don't know if this is for like, I hope this is like for a bogus film or something. Caravan, a short snuff film by Ruben Claridge. The synapse of did I say synapse? Not, you know what I mean. The basic idea was Caravan acts as an insight into the deprived nature of two psychotic delinquents and an equally disturbed cameraman for the sake of entertainment. They kidnap a homeless man and film the event that takes place. The hobo is beaten, bound, and then locked in the boot of a car for 24 hours before arriving at a secluded caravan. Sadistic torture ensues. Now, the problem is, it's really risky when you do kind of stuff like this, even on a fake level, because you don't want to give people the wrong impression. And unfortunately, snuff films are illegal because it really means a real snuff film means you really are torturing somebody for real. But I don't know if they realize, usually it's with women, unfortunately, because what they do is they also sexually assault them before and beat them and torture them, and then they kill them, and it's shot on film. That's why they don't exist. That's why they're illegal. So, and it's on this, you can find it on Facebook. Why, I don't know. I even have it linked, but I didn't like it. I will, just for the heck of it, because I'm just kind of curious. Make sure this is not, hopefully this is just all fake. I hope. But yeah, it's called Slaughterhouse Fetus Productions Studio. I just find the whole thing kind of strange. But it definitely, obviously caught my attention as well. Evan Alice in Chains actually has. I haven't heard him in years. That was actually linked on to this fetus production thing. They're actually a really good band. Actually, I was going to save this for later. I had a couple stories I have posted, but I'm going to wait till later. I just want to get stuff that appropriately fits what I'm talking about right now. Again, I've been off for such a long time. Maybe I'll just do this as a follow-up, and I will talk again about the Madonna thing, because I actually put those pictures I had taken. I got some really good pictures. I had taken over 300 pictures at a Madonna concert. I'll go in that in a minute. A lot of the talk was October 1st when I was off, and it looks like Roseburg, that's not Orlando, is it? No. Oregon. Yeah, I think it's Oregon, where that kid shot up all those people. Because I heard Rush talking about it. I think it was yesterday or Friday, or was it today? I can't remember, because I actually did listen to Rush Limbaugh for a change. I should, because I enjoy listening to him. And he was talking about this for quite a bit. Says police have confirmed at least 15 people have been killed after someone opened fire on at Oregon's, so it is Oregon, the community college. Now, the thing was, 15 to 20 people were shot and injured, though. This guy had, a lot of weapons, and they're trying to say, well, this is because you need to control people with guns. Well, the people who needed the guns, even the authorities, had no guns at all. So the people who should not have guns always do in these cases. The ones who don't need guns seem to be the ones with all the ammo. The thing was that Rush did bring up, I didn't know, and I did look up a picture for him, this guy who did all the shooting. It should not make a difference, but this is the media just pressing again. He was both. One of the parents were probably, I would just say it the simplest way I can, so don't take any offense to it. The one parent was black, the other one was white. So he was both. And they made sure, not only did they push about this whole thing about guns need to be regulated, they made sure to make the guy look more that he was white instead of just both white and black. Now, why I'm bringing that up, because that way they can just say, oh, it was a white guy who shot all these people up. They want to be a black guy. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'll tell you. Obama is both. He's got a parent that's white and a parent that's black. He was brought up as a white in a white, surroundings. And what does that have to do with anything? Well, he acts like he grew up as a black person, but he isn't. He's both black and white. I mean, his wife, I would have to say, is African American, I assume, but he's actually, he's brought up in a family that was predominantly all white family members, but he acts like he's black. So, whatever fits what kind of fits what what the media is trying to present, that's what they go with. That's my problem. Okay, so we have to, for Obama, we make him a black person, and for this guy who did all these shootings, we decided, well, he's more white than black. And I think that is so unfair. I think that is ridiculous. You need to call the person who he is and not just represent him whatever fits your your motive or what you're trying to go for. I mean, that should not be allowed. That's just my opinion, and I strongly stand behind that one. I really do. So I just needed to make that clear that it's just interesting, if somebody is, and most people, I mean, mine's not as obvious because I'm both Sicilian, Italian. Well, actually, I'm not just both. I'm Sicilian, Italian, and Dutch. But some people have different mixtures of nationalities in their system, in their bloodstream. I myself do too. Probably that's more closely related. I mean, but I'm just trying to state whatever, and when it comes to skin color, whatever suits what the media is trying to press or push, they're going to go with that one. And I think that's should not be that way. Let's see if there's any other stories that kind of fit. So I'm just making that clear again. You can't do that. You can't say, okay, well, this person is not just one nationality or of one ethnicity. They're from two, and whatever they try to persuade people to believe, they're going to go with, well, this person is this nationality if it's good, and they're this nationality if it's bad, and that's exactly what they're doing. So I just want to make that that statement, or make that clear on how I think, and I just think that should not be allowed. That should not be allowed at all. It's just a way of just with the gun thing. It makes me even more angry. It was funny, actually. I did acknowledge this guy. Actually, I got to look for it now. See where it was. So I'm stepping away from my computer for a minute so I can look this up. I got this model-looking car down the shore because it's of an antique type of Volkswagen. Like, it looks like a beach thing, and I'm going to explain in a minute why I'm mentioning this. Beetle, a bug, and I got it because it looks really cool, and it's like hand painted. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. I got it from this place called Air Circus. It was down in Ocean City, like when I was there on Sunday. So hold on a minute, I'm going to put it back and explain myself as I step away from the screen, the monitor, not the screen. Well, that too, from my mic. So anyway, here I'm down there, and I just mentioned the place, and this guy, it's like a knick-knack shop on the boardwalk, but he has all these toy wooden guns. They're made of wood. They look like guns. He's actually got them all marked, like what type of gun it's supposed to be, but it shoots rubber bands. And I said, you know what? I really respect you for this because, I told the guy, I said, listen, I'm a Republican, and I think people should have the right to bear arms. You should not tell them, hey, you're not allowed to have a gun. I think that's ridiculous. If it's self-defense. If you get it legally and your intentions aren't to kill somebody, and you're there for strictly self-defense, you have every right to carry a weapon. And not for drug use or anything else, but for just self-defense. You should have that right. And I told this guy, I said, I think this is ridiculous what happened at this school. and how they make a big deal out of that, though. But anything that pertains to guns, or even kids making guns, toy guns to play with, that's inappropriate. You cannot do that. That's no. But then he said he actually had the kit, by the way, because I'm going to go into that one now. I should have actually bought one, but I wasted enough money this past weekend. But I said, well, yeah, but then they allowed this kid who was a Muslim in background. He was a Muslim, and he was allowed to bring a homemade clock into school, and he put it into a metal pencil case that looked like a little suitcase, and it did look exactly like a bomb. And the guy at this store, by the way, he actually did say, he says, we sell the kits for those clocks. He says, well, I actually have those kits. So he's actually obviously he was on the same side I am. And I said, I just think that's ridiculous. This kid is allowed to bring what looks like a gun into school, and they did it with intentions that he would be sent home, or, would have been, accused of having a bomb, which it did look like one. So, just letting you know, there you go again. There's a two-sided issue right there, and I think that's just ridiculous. Everybody who you got to watch what you say for one reason or another, because it's going to be your fault, not theirs. And I have some stuff to talk about with that, with my job that happened this past weekend before I even went on vacation, what happened tonight. Anyway, I've got to light up the mood for just 1 second. This was hilarious. Thank you, Todd Thomas. This was like a couple days ago. It really was. It was October 2nd. Pork company fires a 400-pound Pennsylvania man for farting too much, masking the scent of the meat in a lawsuit. So he worked for some pork company. The guy's like 70 years old. I don't even know why he's fucking working. And he had gastro bypass surgery, which gave him a lot of gas, apparently, he said. And the man also had irritable, basically a lot of bad diarrhea, too, all the time. So this place that he worked, it looks like Casey's Pork Roll. Never heard of it. That's what the outside place of the place says. This man's flatulence was so bad, he literally, it was hard to work with the man. So they end up firing him. So there's an article on this story on the Daily News that was marked a couple days ago. I mean, that's bad enough. The man's 70 years old, and he weighs almost 500 pounds. That's an issue there, too. And he was claiming it was from his bypass surgery that caused him to fart so much. But I think there's more to it than that. So that's a lighter story. There's a couple other. I'm just going to look at them now because they were on this article, like linked to this. So I got to look at these and see if they're worth reading. These are all going to be a couple days old because there's some pretty nasty looking stories. Kentucky man and his dog ripped scalp of his ex-girlfriend, police say. So this actually got a audio to it. And trust me, if you're like kind of, what do you call it? Really can't stomach stories like this. I got a picture of her, and she's like in keeping her head, I guess, in a type of vice. I'm not even kidding. A Kentucky woman is out of the hospital and speaking out for the domestic violence victims after cops say her ex-boyfriend and his dog ripped her scalp off in an act of unspeakable cruelty. This poor woman, she looks like she's got to be in a lot of pain. And this was, again, these are all older stories, I believe. Yeah, that was September 25th. It just caught my attention, though, because it was linked to the story I just read about the 500-pound man. It all started when Marilyn Stanley's ex-boyfriend, Zachary Gross, snapped earlier in the month because of the Facebook post. According to Fox 19, I've been physically changed for the rest of my life, Stanley told the station on September 14th attack. Boone County cops say that that Gross assaulted Stanley for an hour in his Walton home and then enticed his dog to attack her when she refused to drop a knife, which she was using to defend herself, Fox 19 reported. So the girl looked really cute but she's going to be marked for life, and I'm not going to read the rest. You can read that actually on the Daily News. This poor woman got her scalp ripped off. I mean, that's pretty nasty. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Fart Guy story because that actually had some interesting links for some older stories, which I intended not to read, but they just kind of really caught my attention. Alrighty, here's another one from the Daily News. And how long ago was this? Oh, this was actually October 1st, so that's not too old. British nurse who claimed she was sexually abused by satanic cult found dead in mysterious circumstances. This was in the UK. So this is not a good story either. A British nurse who claimed she had been sexually assaulted by a satanic cult was found dead in a mysterious circumstance again. Carol Myers, who said her family were Satanists who abused her, was found dead alone in her flat, according to reports. But the police investigation said the allegations were unfounded, and her family insisted the false memories were dreamt up following controversial memory therapy sessions. So I wonder if she committed suicide then. This wasn't the main part of my story, my stories tonight, so I'm not going to go any further. But you will see these on the dailynews.com. That was actually only October 1st, because I want to kind of stay on track tonight since it is so early in the morning now. Yes, I know I'm going back to reading these horrendous stories as I've been off the air for so long. Yeah, there's a lot of really bizarre stories, and this is all in the Daily News. Even if I just read the highlights, they're pretty bad. Like the titles of these stories, like editor's picks: Utah boy 6 undergoes surgery after being bullied. There's one: man buys ring for dead girlfriend, says they're engaged. Girl. This one I read a while back. Girl 15 stabs mother to death after watching ISIS video. Mom of Oregon shooter bragged about weapons online report. See, that's an updated story. This is about the Oregon one. I read this a couple days ago when I was on air. They aired last time. A brawl erupts as cheerleaders dance off, turns nasty. There's another story. These are all the editor's picks. These aren't my picks. On the Daily News. So they're just as morbid as I am. New Jersey teen dies at sleepover days before school starts. A 14-year-old girl dies on a sleepover. Beauty blogger rips apart friend's wedding in brutal blog. Guard caught making out with an inmate in an upstate New York jail. Wisconsin man beheaded mom with sword after breakfast. Cops stated, and terrorist comfort crying suicide bomber before Syria attack. Though, and again, this is one time. These aren't me looking for these really nasty stories. They were actually linked to the story I did read. Yeah, more editors' picks. None of them are that good. These are all the editors' picks on stories that they liked. Body of missing Colorado teen found in chimney. That one I read the other day. Wichita man allegedly kidnaps teen, shocks with jumper cables. Woman locked in shed, tortured by brothers, freed prosecutors. Brit woman jailed for life for masterminding child sex ring. And porn star details terrifying rough sex with Josh Duggar. None of them were good stories, trust me, and I'm not going to read any of them because I just got plenty of other ones to read, and it's not, again, what my main thing was. So I'm going to just read these off, and then I'm going to go into my main part of my show tonight. The morning call, I think Todd sent me this a couple days ago. This is kind of weird. This is in our state of Pennsylvania. Jury finds man guilty in Allentown for stalking case. Now, this guy's got a really bad wig, not even a toupee. He looks like this really old guy, and it just looks like literally like he's got like a Beatles mop hair wig on his head. It can't be his. And it says a Lehigh jury took less than 3 hours Thursday to find Clyde RuPaul, a registered sex offender, guilty of stalking a boy who lived across the street in their Allentown neighborhood. Now, get this. I mean, this guy's like a real whack job. For 2 years, the 73-year-old RuPaul sent a boy love letters, watched him as he played, and followed him to and from this kid's school. A case of stalking prosecutors called a parent's worst nightmare. So RuPaul's faces a maximum of 21 and a half to 5 years when he is sentenced November 17th by Lehigh County Judge in William Ford. In notes he wrote with the multicolored ink and decorative with hearts and peace signs, RuPaul included his phone number and instructions for the child. Authorities testified last week. So this guy was obsessed with a little kid, and he's 73 years old. I'm trying to see if they give the age of this kid, but it seemed like, or did I already read it? No, it just says stalking. So I guess for the protection of the child, they're not going to... Oh, excuse me. Oh, no, they actually do. Registered sex offender 73 on trial for stalking a 12-year-old boy. I mean, what do you see in a little boy? I don't even understand that at all. I really don't. On any child that age, I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, here's I consider it a humorous story. It's not very funny, but to me it is kind of entertaining. This was a couple days ago. I probably never even read this, I don't think. A PIX-11, thank you, Todd. Woman's death by butt injections ruled a homicide, medical examiners. Far Rockaway, Queens, that's New York, you know. Yeah, Far Rockaway, Queens. A death of a woman who had silicone injections into her buttocks in Queens has been ruled a homicide. Well, I think she was more obsessed. I guess she wanted the big... And I love this with women. They don't want you to look at their ass, but they're going to fill it up with fucking silicone, which is going to kill them. That's an entertaining thing in itself. A spokeswoman for the medical examiner's office say 34-year-old Kelly Mayhew died after the silicone entered her bloodstream. The unidentified woman allegedly gave Mayhew silicone injections, who then had complications and difficulty breathing, her mother told police. So, okay, you're going to fucking fill your ass with fucking silicone, and then you're going to die from it. So, and that was suicide. No, that's just stupidity. Hero of the stupid. There we go. There is one. Police said that Suitland, Maryland woman was found unresponsive at a Queens apartment on May 30th. Her mother performed CPR and called 911, but Mayhew didn't survive. Authorities are still looking for the woman's suspected of giving Mayhew the injections. It says more than a dozen people in the United States have died from illicit injections. A Philadelphia woman was convicted in March of third-degree murder in 2011. Death of a dancer from London who died after low grades of silicone traveled through her lungs. So some people just don't learn. And women are obsessed about their looks, but then they make a big deal if you notice that they make a big deal out of it, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't, but I'm just saying. These are like really old stories. One was from the DelcoTimes.com. A friend sent this as a joke. Have you seen this man? Berger caught on tape. This guy like actually broke into somebody's house. This was in Pennsylvania. This guy broke into somebody's house, and he got caught on security camera. I mean, you talk about being stupid. So you got a good bird's eye view of this guy because, like, he not only broke into his people's house to steal things, but they got a good view of him on the camera, which is on the still shot from this article. And it says a hidden security camera captured a man who inside a home where the police say he went upstairs to the master bedroom and rummaged through the closets and drawers in the room, and nothing was taken. So I don't know what his whole deal was. This was on September 11th. The burglary occurred shortly after, on September 11th on Ring Road, according to the release from the state police. Police believe it was a white male, 6'4", and he weighed 240 pounds, kicked in the door at the home. So, and a really dumb burglar, to say the least, because he got caught on a surveillance camera. So, hey, those things actually do work. This was a dumb story a friend sent me the other day. It was on September 30th, and it's Unilad, and it was Stephen Hawking warns that advanced aliens may conquer and colonize the planet. Like, if, he's actually going to give, Stephen Hawking now is going to, this was back, obviously September, did I say, the 30th. He's now going to give $100 million. It says this, I'm serious. He says, after recently announcing he's going to invest $100 million in search for alien life on other planets, Stephen Hawking now claimed that if we do find extraterrestrial life, then it might be the end of us as well. Like, they might basically colonize our planet and take over. I'm not even kidding. He really does say that. I mean, I used to love Stephen Hawking. I mean, the man's a genius, I thought, but I think he's a little bit on the nutso side. He's a big, like, Star Trek and science fiction geek, too, so that might be part of it. A story I would have read again, and I didn't at the time, it was on 21 Fox News, I guess, or no, it says, actually, this says Local 21 News. And it is a kind of funny story. Police, Texas woman attacked brother for eating. Where is the rest of this? Eating her barbecue ribs. This woman attacked her brother for stealing her ribs, her barbecue ribs. According to the arrest affiliate, Ethel Jean Banks, 61, is charged with aggravated assault, family violence, a second-degree felony. It happened on September 27th at 6:50 p.m. at the home at a home in the 100 block of Hergotts Lane, just east of Highway 183, south of Colorado River. The victim says Banks attacked him after she began to argue over the barbecue, ending with Banks charging at him with a butcher knife, court documents say. So she ran after her brother with a butcher knife, this woman, because he ate the last barbecue rib. So, hey, I got to applaud this woman. She knew what she wanted. Very smart woman, really. No, I'm being sarcastic. Now, this was a story on Dream and Demon, and it was about this Alyssa Gomat, because I actually watched a video, and I already forgot how to say her name. She got accused of kicking her boyfriend's 17-year-old month son to death. She kicked the kid so hard, and she repeatedly kicked the kid until he stopped breathing. Apparently, it said she ruptured his stomach. She was babysitting her boyfriend's kid. She had her own kid, and she kicked the kid so fucking hard that it ruptured this little baby's stomach. Now, hey, she's a real prize for some idiot out there if you want her, but good luck, because she's going to be in jail for a while, too. That was dated on October 3rd, so it says on Wednesday, Gomat, I'm just going to say Gomat, attempted suicide. She basically tried to commit suicide in her holding cell. She was not successful and was arrested on suspicion of second-degree murder. Now, she killed the fucking kid, and it's suspicion of second-degree murder. She currently is being held in King County Corrections Facility on a $1 million bail. That's the highest bail that I've ever heard, even for a guy. It's never gone that high. According to the reports, the 26-year-old Gomat was watching her toddler son along with Drew Lethto, the 17-month-old son of her boyfriend, and they got in an argument over a toy. These are little kids or babies. I mean, they show what this kid looks like. He looks like he's like an infant. I don't care if he's 17 years old. I know that's like over a year old. But yeah, that's like a year and some change, like a year and a half years old. Yeah, he's an infant. And she got mad at her boyfriend's son, so she decided, like, well, I'm just going to kick him in the stomach a few times to quiet him down. She ended up killing him. So she looks like looks like a 12-year-old, even though they claim she's 26. She doesn't even look remotely close to that. So here's another interesting one. PIX11, thank you, Todd. Florida woman, this is dated the 2nd of October. Florida woman accused of stabbing her husband in the neck during sex. Apparently, she put a blanket over his neck, and she had another one with a butcher knife, if I remember correctly. This happened in West Palm Beach, Florida. Woman accused of trying to kill her husband by stabbing him in the neck while having sex. Christina Bozala, 39, was charged with first-degree attempt murder. She told the detectives that she stabbed her husband because he called out another woman's name while they were having sex. I might have read this before. I don't think I did. When the police arrived on the scene, they saw this woman get away in her car. According to WPBF, Christopher, her husband, was found with multiple stab wounds. The couple was married for 10 years. How's that? I'll leave it at that, because I still haven't got to my main point yet tonight. I already told you about the story. I had that up again about the girl Alyssa who kicked her boyfriend's son to death. Now here's another goofball story. DailyNews.com. Now this is with a priest. I'm not even kidding. A giant mistake. They're trying to make it punny, funny, but with puns. A giant mistake. Priest arrested over claims he pointed a musket at an 8-year-old boy because of a football rivalry. A football-loving New Jersey priest was arrested Friday for allegedly, I'll have to give you the date on that, was arrested Friday for allegedly pointing a musket at an 8-year-old boy who committed the cardinal sin of cheering for the Dallas Cowboys. A little kid. That was actually dated on October 5th, so that might have been just yesterday, yes. So, yeah, the 54-year-old pastor assigned to St. Margaret of Corna Roman Catholic Church in Little Ferry, New Jersey, was being held on $15,000 bail. Cartel allegedly approached the boy as he and his family arrived for mass services at the church on Sunday, September 13th, hours before the Giants and the Cowboys faced off their first game of the season, and asked to see him in one of the rectorate rooms. So that sounds pretty funny, rectorate rooms. Maybe I just said it wrong. It just sounds funny anyway. Prosecutors said that several witnesses watched in horror as the priest stood against the wall and allegedly pointed a Civil War era musket at his head. So this priest held the musket up because he didn't agree with what this kid liked, because he liked the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. I'm usually not trying to put down priest, but that one is just like you can't hide the fact. Let me put it that way. So I don't know. I know I say it a lot, but I really just don't know. So you just can't win with people. And how's that? You can't win with people. And you know what? If I get to the point that I wanted to mention tonight, I'm just going to save this picture real quick. There's too many nutcases out there. I don't know how else to put it. And don't worry, because I'm going to actually, if anybody's actually listening to me still, I will get to the point, talking about Madonna, because I did like the concert, and mention about that. I'm trying to TV guide some women that have, like, provocative clothes on that are celebrities. Actually, not too bad either, for once. Even Miley. I thought this was really cool. I'm still not at my story yet. I saw this. I posted myself. There is a guy on Etsy, the website Etsy.com. I guess that's the way you say it. He's selling the actual replicas he makes them handmade, replica police call boxes. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. What can I say? Full-size replica police call boxes. So if you have the money, it's not that bad, but it's like, where the fuck can I put something that huge? Because it's like a perfectly scaled, full-size model. It does look like the TARDIS, not even just a police box, because the windows are frosted out. And they light up at night, so it really does look like a freaking TARDIS. And it says, Police Public Call Box, full-size replica, and in American U.S. dollars, $1,600. And now, that sounds like a lot of money, but you're talking a full-size police call box. I mean, it is exactly like, the police call box they use for Doctor Who. It says handmade item materials, wood, pine, and MDF, which I don't know what that is. Made to order, only ships to the United States from Poma, California. So this guy makes them in the States. And it says it's a full-size fucking TARDIS. So if you have the room and you have $2,000, you know how to waste it. This guy will make you a full-size TARDIS. And apparently somebody might have bought one, so they put their picture up with the TARDIS they bought. Maybe it's like two different people. But this guy makes full-size fucking TARDISes. And yeah, that's a real waste of money. That's an adult toy, trust me, because not the way you probably would think of it, folks, but it is an adult toy, because who is going to have fucking $2,000 to buy something like that? And it's a real TARDIS looking thing. So it's cool. It's really cool. Oh, yes. I must have closed down this story and didn't realize it. I'm still not getting to my main story. So let me see if I had it down back here. Because I had a couple pages open. I got to close these nonsense pages down. A friend knows I like the Waffle House. So he found this article, my friend Todd. And it says, after finding out why the Waffle House denied service to a U.S. soldier, I vowed to boycott them for life. And this is no joke. And I do like the Waffle House. They are very greasy, though. But Kentucky Waffle House refuses service to a soldier carrying his firearm, which I guess I could kind of see because it looked like he was in his civilian clothes. He might have been a military man. So in some ways, I mean, in their defense, I can kind of understand. If you see somebody coming with a firearm, yeah, I understand the guy is a military soldier, but he's in his civilian clothes. I kind of question that too. I'm just playing the devil's advocate at this point. It was on AmericanOverlook.com, actually. I'm trying to look when this was dated. I mean, the article. I apologize. I really can't give a date because it looks like somehow they did not date the story. I don't know why, but I'm not even kidding. When Billy Welch, a National Guard soldier, walked into a Waffle House earlier on Sunday morning, he never expected to be denied breakfast from the establishment. Why was the soldier thrown out? Well, it says he was wearing a uniform. He was wearing his uniform, so I apologize. So in that case, yes, I'm going to go back and say that is a little ridiculous. He was wearing his uniform, and he had a firearm in his holster. Cops do that stuff. They will wear their firearm as well. Now, many Americans are boycotting the breakfast joint because it does not support our troops. So, okay, I apologize. I didn't read the whole story. See, they have a picture of the guy who would assume it's a video. I did not watch it. And he has the firearm in his holster, but he's got his street clothes on, his civilian clothes, I should say, to be politically correct. So I assume that's what he did, but no, he actually did have his uniform on, and he got kicked out. Or not served. And they probably asked him, I assume, to leave. So that was on, again, AmericanOutlook.com. You can check that story. It's on my Facebook page. Just letting you know. There's a very cool picture I had, and it was on Manson's page. It's called Manson TV Community. And it has a picture of him, Marilyn Manson, with Johnny Depp. Now, I don't believe in Johnny Depp's politics, but I do like a lot of his movies. So I think he's smart enough. Johnny Depp, he's a very good actor. He knows to keep his politics out of his movies. And I think he does for the most part. That's just me. That's the way I see it. So I'm going to leave it go at that. So I can get to my story. He actually looks really cute there. Sorry, I'm looking at this picture of Miley Cyrus. And normally I just can't stand the way she changed herself. But this time I actually thought she looked kind of adorable, which is, for me to say, that's kind of weird. And I did find my Waffle House story. Found my TARDIS story finally, and my Alice in Chains story, which was not a story. Anyway, hopefully you can hear me because I keep on going in and out, in and out. I have to readjust my my mic levels because I think I mentioned this before, but I and I actually recommend those as long as it does not die again. Please don't die on me again. I got a hybrid hard drive. I would have got an 8 terabyte hard drive because that's the new size, but I'm afraid, why should I get something so big, save all that information, and then find that I'm going to lose it all? So I was like, forget it. So I got the happy medium of a hard drive, and I got a 4 terabyte hard drive, though, that matches up to my other ones, but this one's a hybrid. I had a hybrid before, it just died. So I'm hoping this one won't, but I did it as a clean install with the newest OS from Mac, which is, believe it or not, it is called OS X El Capitan. I'm not even kidding. It is really called El Capitan. So I put the drive in, and I basically used that drive. I changed the names of my hard drives. I said, okay, my old hard drive, which is still in there, it's not old. I just said, make this hard drive 2 and call my other one the main hard drive, which had nothing on there. Now, my new hard drive is a hybrid hard drive. It's, basically it's got a little bit of solid state for where it's needed to boot up your system, but the rest of it is the old conventional, spin drives. So it was like, okay, I had one before, it died. I didn't know what the performance was. I have one in my laptop, and it works really well. But the one on my desktop is like really fast. It is really, really fast. So I'm hoping it won't die. So that really works too. If you have an Apple computer, when they say they're going to port everything over, basically transfer everything from your old hard drive to your new one, it really works because it basically mirrored everything from my old hard drive onto my hybrid hard drive. And in my new hard drive, the hybrid is, like I said, it's fast. It's super fast. So it's really worth it. And it was only like that sounds like a lot of money. Yeah, it is, but not as much as like $300 for the 8 terabyte, which was not a hybrid. The biggest hybrid I've seen so far is only 4 terabytes. Because terabytes are starting to shrink in size, believe it or not, because the files are getting bigger. So to me, they're getting smaller, what do you call it? Anyway, so that being said, it's really nice. And again, I'm not going to erase my old hard drive. I still got like a little over 3 terabytes on both of these drives that are mirroring each other. And if one dies, I'll just take it out and just put another hard drive in and just reinstall everything from the other hard drive. But the bottom line is that do you have any files like Apple puts on their OS? Do you have anything to transfer over? And it's like you say, yes, I never used it before. This is the first time I used it. And again, I had over 1 terabyte to move over. So it had taken about, I think, 2.5 hours. And when everything was said and done, it was like everything looked like I basically never even put a hard drive in there. Like it was the old system running a lot faster on a brand new hard drive. So that part was really cool. So anyway, I was off since Thursday, and that was because I went down to Ocean City on Friday morning, or Friday afternoon, because I had some errands to do. Ocean City was beautiful. It was downpouring. All my clothes got saturated so quickly. It wasn't like a heavy rain. It was just that misty rain coming off the ocean. That whole thing about this hurricane going to hit us was major disappointment because it was overhyped, but I was glad about that. And Saturday, I kind of walked around. I got saturated again with the rain because I try to walk on the boardwalk in Ocean City because I got this hotel off the ocean front, which I really recommend. Let me see if I can find the pictures of this place. Because it was very nice. It was very, very nice. I'm looking up because I had taken pictures of the hotel, so I basically can remember it and show it to my parents. Here we go. The place I stayed at had plenty of vacancies, very friendly family. I recommend Ocean City, the families, or just people who just want to get away and not deal with all the riffraff. Wildwood, Cape May's getting there now, and Atlantic City. And I was only about 30 minutes away, 32 minutes, I think, from Ocean, what do you call it? Where I stayed, I'm looking at the sign. It says Oceanfront Motel, by the way, is where I stayed. Very nice place. Not elaborate, but very nice. In Ocean City. So from Ocean City, the drive over to Atlantic City, where I saw Madonna, was only like a little over half an hour. It was well worth it. The people are very friendly in Ocean City. I can't say enough. The guy at the Oceanfront Motel, I definitely recommend the place because his hotel cost me like about $100 a night. I stayed there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I left around like 7 o'clock. I told the guy, it's getting dark out. I want to go home. I got to work. As of yesterday, I had to go back to work. And he was fine about it. He was a very friendly man. The maid service was incredible because I didn't want him in my room, the room that I rented, and they were fine with that. So they just left me towels outside the room, like clean towels, toilet paper, you name it. They left you what you needed. So because I put do not disturb on my door, but they were very friendly people. My room, unfortunately, I paid for a room, I thought, but he did give me like $40 off a day off the normal price he would have charged at this time of year because they had no business from this scare tactic that the media put on that, this is going to be the worst storm ever. Everybody's got abandoned New Jersey. So it really ruined the businesses down on the beachfront. So I really wanted a room that they had like exactly 6 rooms to face right on the ocean. I mean, I'm telling you, they face right on the ocean. But my room, I could still see the ocean from where I was at. It was really nice. I walked less than about a couple yards, and I'm right where all the stores are on the boardwalk. So I'm telling you, if I take a vacation during the summertime, that is the place I'm going to stay. It's this Oceanfront Motel. I will specifically ask for the one that faces the beach. And it'll be perfect because you can walk right out of your door right onto the boardwalk because it is this motel is right on the boardwalk. So that part was great. And in fact, I was glad when I had to leave Atlantic City after the concert. Madonna was excellent. I never saw her before. I've always wanted to see her, but I've never seen Madonna ever. This is the first time I actually got to see the woman live. She was really good, but my only complaint was I really felt like she copied. I know she's supposed to be the original person of all this stuff, but it was so obvious she copies the people who follow her. Like, strongly, I felt she mimicked, in my opinion, Lady Gaga. And that's just my opinion, though. Because, ironically, Lady Gaga is all into, not that I agree with everything she does, but she's really into a lot of her music, especially when she first started out, was about partying and having a good time and doing drugs, which I don't do any of that stuff. So to me, that was a little bit I don't enjoy that stuff, but I do like she's a very good entertainer, Lady Gaga. How's that have anything to do with Madonna? Well, Lady Gaga has a friend. Let's see if I can find her friend's name. GJ friend. Because her name's Lady something, too. Yeah, there she is. Lady Starlight. Lady Gaga and Lady Starlight. Lady Starlight opens for all of Lady Gaga's, what do you call it? All her acts, because they're really, really, really good friends. So, but Lady Starlight is a disc jockey. Now, she's not your conventional disc jockey. She does not sing. She's not bad looking either. In fact, Lady Starlight made a lot of influence Lady Gaga on that whole get up thing of dressing kind of wild. So, that being said, but yeah, I went to 2 Lady Gaga concerts last year, and Lady Starlight opened up on both of them. So, but Lady Starlight, again, she's a disc jockey. She basically, her big thing is she plays, she mixes her own music, but it's basically doing it on turntables and, actually she uses a keyboard. And she kind of but she's, in my opinion, she is a disc jockey. But it's all her own material that she's mixing, So that's cool. I really love Lady Starlight. I'd love to see her, but she's not going to play by herself performance-wise simply because she does not sing music, and she kind of knows that. So being friends with Lady Gaga to her it's in her advantage because she's actually is able to perform on in these arenas because of Lady Gaga, and that's great. So anyway, going back to what do you call it, Madonna, she had some young kid who did exactly the same thing that Lady Starlight does and opened up for Madonna. And the guy played for a straight hour on stage before Madonna came out and did precisely what Lady Starlight does. And it was wait a minute, I saw this twice last year, the same idea with Lady Gaga's friend, Lady Starlight. So that's what I meant to, what I was trying to get. And that was not the only thing that seemed like it mimicked. Now, most people say, because I got to look at Madonna's age now. I forgot to do that. I was going to do that before I went on the show, and I totally forgot. Let me do that now. Alrighty, Madonna Louise. I'm Italian. I can't say that. Ciccarone. Let's see. Her name really is Madonna. She's 57 years old. I thought they said she was already in her 60s. No, she's in her late 50s. She's pushing 60. And I thought she looked really good. I'm not going to lie. I thought she looked really good. I got some... They said that Madonna specifically said she doesn't want any pictures taken once she's on stage. So when you tell me not to do something, and they let me bring in my camera too, I did the complete opposite. I made sure to zoom in to make sure I could get her face. And trust me, I really zoomed in. In fact, one time I think she was kind of obvious. She caught a glimpse of my camera that has a lens that protrudes out. You're only allowed to go no more than 3 inches on your lens length. And it went out much, much further when I zoomed in. And she caught wind at it. I could tell because I was on the floor. I was the 5 seats back from the front. And actually on the end, she had a stage that went out that she could walk out on. And, so she obviously caught that I was zooming in and taking pictures of her face. So what did Madonna do? She covered her face with her hair. And I'm not even kidding. She literally walked backwards on stage on this one part because she saw me zooming in. I'm not trying to I'm gloating about this. It just kind of was actually very annoying. And then she also covered her face with her hair. She really did not want her face taken whatsoever. And it's like, well, the more you push me not to take your picture, the more I will take your picture if you like it or not. So I deliberately did take, had taken over 300 pictures. I took over 330 pictures. And out of that, probably a dozen actually turned out really good. Now, the thing about Madonna, I've listened to her for the past 30 years. I've actually listened to Madonna from the day one when she first released her first album. I loved her back then. I remember seeing her on MTV when that was really big because I think that's what really helped her. And I always loved Madonna, so I just never bought all her albums. I stopped buying them probably like 20 some years ago because I just didn't find a need. I kind of it was a phase I went through from my late teens until my probably somewhere in my early 20s. But I did buy all her first couple albums. I even went to see that movie with her because I just liked her that much. I went and seen her in that movie where Dick Tracy, where it was funny because when I got your movie ticket, you had to buy a T-shirt, and your T-shirt was literally had a picture of a ticket on there, and you had to wear the T-shirt to get admitted to watching Dick Tracy. But the point was, that's how much of a Madonna fan I was. I never saw her in Evita, but I did see her in any movie she did. I made sure to buy that girl. Who's That Girl? I mean, I love that movie. I just loved Madonna when she was younger. So, and I loved her up to a certain point, and I just forgot what happened. I just kind of stopped listening to her, I guess. And then it was I never knew that she ever toured. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, Madonna's on tour now? And it's the first time I ever got wind of, Madonna's on tour. I wanted to see her 30-some years ago, or 30 years ago. And I finally got to see her in concert. So the one thing I'm going to want to do is take pictures, obviously. Because I literally wanted to see her years ago. And given the chance, I'm going to make sure I get as much out of it as I can. So, because I grew up loving this woman. So anyway, I didn't know, but yeah, she seemed really uptight about getting her picture taken, but everybody had their camera phones out. I just went one step further, and I had my my actual camera, which, I made a good talk to let me have it in there, so it worked. But getting back, she did put on an incredible performance, don't get me wrong, and I saw people who put on basically the same show would be Taylor Swift did. Madonna definitely did. She copied everybody else. And then I also saw, last year again, twice, I saw Lady Gaga. Now, out of all of them, honestly, I thought I liked Lady Gaga the best. I mean, that's just me. I honestly liked Lady Gaga the best. But that's, again, how I feel. And I just felt like seeing Taylor Swift actually did something that was definitely very entertaining. And Katy Perry, I forgot about her too. But honestly, Madonna put an excellent show on, but it just seemed like the beginning of the show, again, just seemed like she ripped off with this. The person who opened up for her remind me exactly of Lady Starlight. So it's like you're ripping off that. And then she had some random guy she pulled on stage, and you can tell it was staged. And she said, "Oh, this guy's my biggest fan. He's been my biggest fan for the last 30 years. He's followed me for 30 years. He's been at every one of my concerts." And she pulled him on stage. And it was but the whole thing was staged, period. I mean, the whole thing was just obviously, it was like a setup. and it looked like a setup. But why am I bringing that up? Well, Lady Gaga does it, but she really does, appreciate her fans, and I give her credit for that. That's what I like, because I remember randomly I found out that if you write a letter, or you send a note and you throw it on stage, and Lady Gaga gets it at the concert, she may pull you on stage. Well, she didn't pull me on stage, but right afterwards, I think it was like less than a few weeks later, I got, when she started doing, well, maybe it was a little longer than that actually, when Lady Gaga was doing that thing with Tony Bennett, and then she was doing those cheek-to-cheek, she did a cheek-to-cheek concert in New York. I almost said California, I meant New York. I got an email, because I put my email address on there, and I actually got some random calls, which I couldn't figure out where they were coming from, but I kind of had a hunch. But I did get an email, because I put it on this letter I wrote Lady Gaga, and I said, you've been a big influence, I love your music, for 2 free tickets to go see her up in New York at a cheek-to-cheek concert for free. And they were like really good seats. So the bottom line is, Lady Gaga, I think, honestly, this is my opinion, but she seems like she really will like go out of her way for her fans. And that just really impresses me. The fact that she goes out and she does remember her fans. So I have more respect for a person like that than somebody who just, randomly sets somebody up in the audience and says, oh, I'm just going to randomly pull you up on stage and, you're the fan who gets to meet me in person kind of deal. That to me is not, don't get me wrong. I still think Madonna put on like definitely a really good show. And people keep on picking on the poor woman, saying, oh, she really looks bad. She looks aged. But I showed some guys some of the pictures I had taken, and a guy says, well, actually in your pictures, Madonna does not look that bad. So that's a compliment to me, because I took actually really good pictures of her, the ones that turned out. But I at least convinced, it was an older guy too at this, I wish I remember the name. It's this collectible kind of like old antique toys and stuff, and they're really good prices on Ocean City's boardwalk. But this older guy, he was a much older guy, he said, she looked really bad in the pictures they put in the newspaper of her playing out. And it was like, she didn't look that bad, trust me. I saw the woman, I zoomed in on, I looked at the pictures I had taken. She did not look that bad at all. I thought she looked actually really kind of hot. So, but friends say she looks older, but we're all going to get older at some point in time. I'm getting older. So I think she looked really good. That's me, Madonna. And I thought she put it on an excellent show. But my thing was, I just don't like the fact that she's trying to act like she's doing something original, but she really is not. And everybody says, oh, well, Madonna's the one who started this whole thing. She's the one who, is responsible for people doing what they do. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't think that's the case. I think she kind of does rip off the people who kind of follow her. But that's just, again, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. But she, and that's another thing. That was always Lady Gaga. I'm not trying to like take sides. I really am not. But Lady Gaga was always on, from day one, she was always in the party/drug scenes. As far as I remember, I don't remember Madonna ever really pushing that kind of look for herself. But now, all of a sudden, she is doing that. And it's like, why do you need to do this? You never did this before. That's why I love Madonna. She actually used to have her father come on. One concert, I bought like one of these, back then it was VHS tapes of her concerts. I used to love Madonna. But the last thing she did was push herself as being like into drugs and stuff. Now, all of a sudden, she's got to push herself like, oh yeah, I'm really into drugs and stuff. I lost something. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take that pause, that 5-second pause that Rush was talking about. But yeah, seriously, that was one thing that Lady Gaga, you know where you stand with her, and I understand you have to reinvent yourself, but what do you call it? Always had that for her. You know that she was like the party girl. And they're both from New York, too. I mean, you can say, oh, well, that's the reason that Madonna's into that, too. No, because, like, Lady Gaga actually toned herself down quite a bit lately. And Madonna had to, like, soup herself up to, like, the look like, or, act like, in my opinion, like Lady Gaga. And it's like, why do you need to do that? I mean, I liked your image. I enjoyed her show. I really did. I'm just saying, I just felt like I was going to something that you're trying to mimic people who you influenced. You're like taking something from them, and I didn't like that part. But yeah, I don't know. But that was the thing that was kind of like split down the middle with. But does she put on a good show? Of course, they all do. All those, I saw a lot of different concerts. I went to, everyone from twice. I went and saw a scene. Who was that? I just mentioned him. Marilyn Manson. I saw Rob Zombie. I saw that girl who played in the original Wicket. I can't remember her name. Mendez, I think her name was. Mendel. I saw, some kids' concerts, of course. But I went to like a wide variety of different concerts. And Taylor Swift and this year, which was kind of a shock for me, but I did go, and I really enjoyed that. Now I saw Madonna. Yeah, I saw a lot of different concerts, and there were in Ministry. I saw Ministry. I went and seen Psychedelic Furs. They were really good. But I like people who kind of stick with their own kind of groove. I mean, I know at least 3 of those bands. Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, which this year I saw her doing the jazz thing. And Madonna, it just felt like, honestly, the Lady Gaga was original. She did something completely different. But I felt like...
You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Alrighty, hey, this is Walter. I apologize. My levels are way, way high. So I don't know what's going on. Now I actually have... a mic that doesn't work. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's not this computer that's shorting things out left and right, because I lost 2 hard drives, and now I actually lost a mic. So yeah, my show just went, and it's now going. It's after 5, so I should have been in bed by now. I'm going to make this short until I figure out what's going on, why things are going haywire, and I'm losing so much equipment. Yeah, this is getting just too costly for me. Yeah, I was just saying the difference between, I was trying to say, and I didn't realize what do you call it, was just going to burn out my mic. I don't know what's going on. That basically I just felt that Madonna put on a good show, but it just seemed so much like Lady Gaga, and everybody's going to say, well, everybody's copying Madonna, but this time I think she did the opposite. I was actually going to mention about work. It's now late. I went back to work today, and I got almost really, really severely hurt, or I did get severely hurt. I actually ended up, we have to gown up, and I slipped and fell on my tailbone and my back, so I was in a lot of pain. I'm hoping that when I do get some sleep and I wake up, I'm not going to be in the amount of pain I felt earlier today. So, yeah, just wish me luck on that. I'm going to have to cut this short at this point, considering the time restrictions I have. yeah, I just thought I could do a show. I didn't expect to have this many complications. And it just got me mad because the people I work with, the two people during the day, did very little work. Last week when I was out on Friday, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything during the week. And the two people responsible for doing my job during the day got rewarded by the supervisors, because now the one who makes the most amount of mistakes is now gotten the responsibility to doing overtime. So for her, so she gets rewarded. She doesn't do any work, and she gets rewarded by getting taking the responsibility over now to doing our overtime. I think that's just ridiculous. Anyway, folks, I better cut this short until I can figure out what's going on with my machine. Hopefully, it's just a fluke, because I've been doing a lot of shows, and it was just a natural thing. I'm just kind of suspicious why now a mic would kind of just short fuse itself and not work any longer. So, everyone, I apologize until I can get everything back to normal. I hope you will continue to listen in, and hopefully it won't cost me any more money, because these microphones are very expensive. They're not cheap. So, everyone, have a good morning. It is after 5. I'm signing off for now, and I will be back once I get everything situated. And yeah, I just lost my train of thought from that. So anyway, have a good morning. It's Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock. So I'm signing off. This is iWalter.